Shir sponsor Lui Nishma Sabi Akashom Labasitzchok. We're holding Bobekamo Daf Chofalef. We're starting Daf in the top of the Omud in Daf Chofalef Daf. Just to mention one thing regarding yesterday's Daf. Could be a very interesting, simple mahalach to understand the sugya. The Gemara told us we have this discussion of Zen Neheneh V'Zel Choser. Now, what is Zen Neheneh V'Zel Choser? One is enjoying, and the other one is not losing anything. There is a discussion, as we mentioned yesterday. So, Machlekes Rishonim, what happens if you have Zen Neheneh, Zel Lo Neheneh V'Zel Choser? Meaning, Reuven is not enjoying, but Shimon is losing for the fact that Reuven is there. Let's say Reuven does not rent houses. He goes and lives in the house of Shimon. So Reuven doesn't benefit from it, but Shimon is losing from it. So today's learns you part because of Gro and Bal. And the influence, no, you're Chayiv. Then we have, so this it depends on the Hemshech HaSugya to understand. What does it mean Zen Neheneh V'Zel Choser? What's the pshat of Zen Neheneh V'Zel Choser? That the discussion, you're Chayiv and not Chayiv. What's the pshat in it? Why should he not be Chayiv? What's the reason? What's the sword to say not Chayiv? So Taisa says, the comes of a Taisa, that's a pretty sure one of the Taisas, is the idea is because of Midas Doim. What does it mean Midas Doim? Midas Doim means, you come to me, and this is maybe just to be back to one more thing. That's how we ended yesterday's daf. The one concluded and said, head to the Midas, if a person says to his friend, I don't let you go into my house, then you don't say you're potter. Even if you hold Zen Neheneh V'Zel Choser potter, that's only after the fact. Before the fact, I can tell the guy, Reuben can tell Shimon, don't go to my house. What's the reason to differentiate if it was before or after? So we have Machlekes Rashi and Tosfos. Rashi learns that if he knows he's in the house, it's over. He's only potter if he doesn't know he was there. Comes to the house, what are you doing here? Squatting in my house. But if he knew, doesn't start. So he says, no, nothing new. Knew is not enough. It has to be that he knew when he said, don't go into my house. So meaning what?
Well, if he knew and you didn't say anything, then assumption is
right.
allowed.
Yeah, so let's say he knew. Rashi, you don't have to say anything. If I know, you don't say Zen Neheneh V'Zel Choser. What's the chiluk with the two? This is the two mahalach you have in the sugya. The question is, how do you understand Zen Neheneh V'Zel Choser? Toy says, the way the Pirush explains and learns, Zen Neheneh Choser doesn't mean Midas Doim. What does it mean Midas Doim? Midas Doim means, what do you care? It's over. You come to me after the fact. You say, oh, by the way, I want money for the fact you're in my house. Why? Well, you were in my house. Did you realize I was in your house? I didn't even realize I was in my house. You want to come to me now after the fact, 2 weeks later, and say, please pay? What do you care? It's a Midas Doim. You're not losing anything. You didn't lose any money. I benefit. It didn't bother you. Leave it alone. So that's only after the fact. If it's before the fact, it means I'm Midas Doim. I don't want you to be in my house. A person has the right to say to his friend, I don't want you to come to my house. So after the fact, you want to take your money. Why take your money? You didn't lose anything. That's Midas Doim. If you come and tell you not to go in the house, you can tell me not to go in the house. That's the Malach of Tosfos. Says Tosfos, by in the case of Zel Lo Neheneh V'Zel Choser, so the pshat is, you can't tell me Midas Doim anymore. I'm losing money. So the only reason you're potter because it's grumble. I didn't do anything. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't benefit. I didn't gain from anything. The other Malach over here.
No, but didn't he lose?
Who?
The owner lost.
The owner lost, but the other guy didn't take it. It's called, that's a grumble. So I mentioned yesterday, if I caused you hezek and I didn't get anything from it, so if it's not a nezik b'yadayim, I'm potter. It's called grumble. Grumble is potter. This brings an example of grumble regarding if a person locks his friend out of his house. Lock the door. Can't get in. Do I have to pay you? It's called grumble nezikin. Because I didn't do any damage directly. I indirectly caused you damage. That's what they say. It's not Midas Doim anymore. So you have to have the grum. The whole mahalach in the Rishonim, the parrot says it, is that in V'Zel Choser pshat is, it's a mechila. Meaning, I don't know anything. And the way it comes out, that's how Rishon Shkop explains it. What does it mean mechila? Not moichel. Pshat is, anything that you don't know, never happened. Mechila means, I never had any claim against you. I didn't ask for anything. it's not different than being the way the Lashon of Shimon Shkob uses is that it's like, was there any benefit over here? Were you renting this house before? You're not renting the house. So for you, this benefit didn't exist. I created this benefit by being here without you knowing. So now you say, I could have asked money for you. You didn't ask money for you. You didn't know about this thing at all. So there, if you know about it, so then I'm not creating something new. It's not mechila, because I know about it. And this will go like the riff that says that anytime that someone is using something which is tangible, you have to pay for it. So this is two malachim in the sugyo. In the pshat is, technically you have to pay for it, but if you don't know about it, it's not tangible. Or the pshat is that because you didn't know about it, doesn't mean there's nothing to ask for something that anyway you didn't plan to get. Okay, says the Gemara. Sholach le Rabbi Abo bar Zavdo le Mari bar Mar bo minim Ravuna. Go ask Ravuna. Hadar b'chatzer chaver shlo yudaytoi. The case that we're talking about here, someone goes to the chotzer chaver without his permission. Tzorch la'aloi sachar or loy. You have to give him money or not. Hadar achi nachnav sheder Ravuna. Until they went to ask Ravuna, Ravuna was nifter. Only Rabbi Ravuna achi el ma'av ma'im mishvei Rav. So Rabbi, the son of Ravuna, said Abba Mari said in the name of Rav. I think Abba Mari means my father, my Rebbe. He said in Rav, you don't have to pay him. You don't have to pay. Okay. And he said, and there's another thing he said. What's the other thing he said? Someone who rents from Reuven has to pay Shimon. So what do you mean? Why? Why should he have to pay Shimon? So you find out that the house of Shimon, you have to pay. So we thought the house belongs to Reuven. He went to live there. And then you found out it's something with Shimon, you have to pay Shimon. Some more tired. That seems to be a contradiction. You just said that someone lives in someone else's house without him knowing, you're butter. Now you say Chayav. So they want to know, how the Karmel Agro? No. The case that you say that you're butter if it's not meant to be rented. But here it's a hotel. It's an Airbnb. He does rent it. So that's what you have to pay. Idranam, you find a similar memro. Omar B'chir Ba'avin, Omar Rav. Amelo B'chir Ba'avin, Omar Huno. Hadar B'chotz Chaver Shemidai. Someone lives in the chotz of his friend without his permission. Ain't Tzechad L'Sachar. They have to pay. Fasir B'ayis B'nei Ayir Ma'alis Sachar L'Bayim. When you rent a house from the people of the city, you pay the owner. Ba'ili Ma'avi Detar. What do you mean? You just said you rent it from the people of the city. Hachigoma means you find out who the owner is. Ma'alin Lehem Sachar. You give him Sachar. Tarte. Both? How can it be both? When it says that you don't have to pay if it's not meant to be rented. But if it's meant to be rented, you do have to pay. So even though the owner did not know about it, but if it's meant to be rented, you damaged it. Why you don't have to pay him? Because of a reason. There's a reason over here. Now, and this, according to Schoyo, the Gemara is not saying, as we said till we said, someone who lives in someone else's house without him knowing, you don't have to pay because he didn't lose anything. So either it's a midas doim, or because we said, like we said the other Rishonim, because of the mechila, type of mechila. Here he's saying there's another reason. Because he's actually benefiting from the fact that the guy lives there. How's he benefiting? Yukas shar. Ushe'io. So Ushe'io Yukashar. What is She'io Yukashar? Rashi says two explanations. They both mean going to the same thing. Either the word She'io is the name of a mazik. There's a shade called She'io. So She'io, which is a shade, Yukashar, he hits a house which is empty. Or She'io means empty house. Like abandoned house. She'ia, empty house. Yukashar, the gate will be ruined by the mazikim. In other words, when you have an empty house, the shadim come into the house. You have someone living there, you prevent it. So right now, the owner of the house is benefiting from the fact that someone's living there. So, first we ask, is he arguing on what we said before, that Zenev is a chaser potter, he holds you are chayav. And only in this case, he's benefiting the owner, he says it. Or he's just giving another reason why he's not chayav, because the owner is benefiting. I saw this shade and a gores like an ox. And basically more about this we'll have in the Shom Machal. This is another reason. A lived and inhabited house is in better shape. Right? You have a house, nobody's living there. It gets ruined. Why? The bulb gets broken, there's a leak, there's a draft, there's something going on in the house. Someone lives there, takes care of the house. Nobody's there, the house gets ruined. That's the reason. Not because of shady. Says what's the difference between the two answers? What happens if the owner is using the house as a storage? He puts their wood and straw. So then there's no shading because he's using it. But on the other hand, there's nobody there taking care of the house. Storage house also gets dilapidated. Here we talk about that. If someone lives there, will he benefit or not? Depends on the two explanations. This person went and built a palace, a house on the garbage of the Yisraelim. Yisraelim had garbage, an area of garbage. He built it over there. So Nachman went and he took away the palace of this guy. Mashma, the Yisraelim did not enjoy, did not benefit from it so much. It was a garbage. And then he went and built a house. What do you care? Says the word no. They used to live there. There was Karminoya living there. Rashi says either it's the name of a nation or people, you don't say Karminoya but Kadmanoya. I mean, there were people that were living there. And they used to pay the Yisraelim something. They used to pay some rent, low rent, rent stabilized tenants. And it wasn't a big amount. They paid something. Go pay the Yisraelim for what they were losing. So now it's giving that meaning the Posh Pshan Sugya is it was more of a knas. He told him they're paying very low rent. If you don't pay that, so I'm going to take away from your fanda. It's a knas. You're ruining for the Yisraelim, and you're not compensating them. You'll be paying more. Someone should want to say that once there is a chisaron, then I can take it from you the full amount. That's how I would rent it for $100. But you're a guy that pays $500. So you don't. Zenin of the means you're like not involved. Like we said according to the second Shari. I don't even know this benefit exists. But if I know this benefit exists, I do get from this house $100 a month, and from you I can get $500. I can get the full $500. And that's what it says over here. It says either you go take care of the Yisraelim and make them happy. If you don't take care of the Yisraelim and make them happy, I'll take away your house because that's what they deserve. They can take the full amount once they can take something. So it says that even when an animal goes to Shusarabim, she pays if she ate, and then it says she pays not the full amount, but only mashenenes. It says if it was in the side of the rechava, so she pays the full amount. If it was in another rechava, she pays mashenenes, which is the 2/3 like we learned yesterday. It says the Gemara, Chazeres means she moved her head. She tilted her head from the Shusarabim to the other side, to the side made over there. And that's when you say that she's chayav, she's chayav. Shmuel Omer after the Chazeres dying potter. It's also potter. Why? Because when you're Shusarabim, you're potter, and putting the head to the side doesn't change that effect. Well, Shmuel according to Shmuel, what will be the case that you're chayav? When the Shabbat she left the Shusarabim, she went and stood in the side on the sidewalk. Then it means that's like going into somewhere else. Then you're chayav. So some learn on its own, not as a machlekes in the Mishnah. Mechazeres, an animal moves her head, tilts her head. She's chayav the full amount. I mean she's chayav the full amount. Shmuel aptura because she's still Shusarabim. Well, Shmuel Mishnah she is zikr bashkar will be the chayav will be the case you pay the whole thing. Shakal Rechava was to come to Rechava, she needs to pay. When she goes to the Rechava. Now, what's the reason in Chazeres according to Rav you pay? Rav she learns is because of shinui. Tilting the head to the side is shinui, so it's carrying your chayav. But many of the Rishonim argue in Rashi they learn not because of shinui, because it's considered to be eating in chatzar nizak. So even though the animal is standing in Shus Rabim, but if she's tilting her head into Shus Nizak, into the side, so it'll be as if she's eating from Shus Nizak. Says the Gemara, says if she eats from the entrance of the store, then you have to pay the minimum amount. What's the case? What do you mean? How is she eating from the entrance of the store? She's walking in Rosh Hashanah and she's tilting her head to the side of the store. Like Shmuel, like Rav. We're not talking about that the store is on the side. The store is in a corner. Let's say take Rashi's case, the way Rashi explains it. You have a big street and a small street. When you go through the big street to the small street, she's going to go into the small alley. She hits the edges of the store right there. Because it's sticking out to the place she's going into. She put the head to the side. Talking about if you put a place from his rishos to Rishus Rabbi. Right? You put a place from his place to Rishus Rabbi. What does it mean? Meaning a person built a house and he left some area in front of the house and he allowed the Rishus Rabbi to use it. Meaning very, very close to the Rishus Rabbi. He puts there his fruits, as Tess points out. It's still his rishos, but it's open. It's open space with being Rishus Rabbi go into when there's no fruits. Which you put till the end. But if he gave his own place, it's rishos, but it's only Rishus Rabbi in Pturo. Then she's part of considered to be Rishus Rabbi. Why? It's considered to be Rishus Yochid. Says the Gemara, it's arguing a person goes and digs a pit in his rishus. So now, but it's very close to Rishus Rabbi. So people Rishus Rabbi walk and something they slip and fall into the board. Is that considered to be they buried a board of Rishus Rabbi or not? If you have a board in your rishus, but it's very close to Rishus Rabbi, you chayav because people do walk on the edge and sometimes they'll fall on the board. It's my rishus. I can do whatever I want on my rishus. So it's sitting over here. According to Shmuel, that it's considered to be my rishus, even though it's open to Rishus Rabbi. So therefore, you're chayav. Therefore, the animal is chayav. But according to Rav, it's considered to be Rishus Rabbi when it's in the same level. And the Rav says no. We could say that what the Chafan base. Usually a bor in his rishos patur. Shani ocho dom alav kol kabinoch de mekarto lepiroisach rishus rabim umechayavti leturoi. It says usually bor b'shus patur is my rishos. You fall into it, I'm not paying you. But here you want me to pay you, right? The guy in rishus rabim. What is going on over here? The animal is eating the fruits. You want the animal to pay. You own the animal. So what do you mean? You put the fruits too close. I'm not paying you. You're not going to pay me if I fall in your bar. I'm not paying you if you eat my fruits. Usually, boy is chayav. Usually, boy, you kill him. I don't realize it. So you chayav. Nobody knows. Nobody realizes the hole which is right next to the edge which is right. Hello, payroll. Speak. What do you mean the payros? It's right there. Don't say, oh, yeah, I can see it. It's right there, sticking out. So therefore, that's a different malach. Says the one leima mechazeres tanoim. Who we find here, mechazeres, if tilting the head is considered to be, according to Rashi, Karen, according to all Rishonim, is considered to be according to Rishus Yochid. So the chum mechazeres tanoim. Tanya. Ochla b'toch ha'chov, the animal eats from Rishus Rabbi Mishal's not shenenis. Why? That's considered to be Rishus Rabbi. You don't pay the full amount. Nitzidar ha'chov Mishal Masheziko divrei Meir. Divrei Meir v'Abudu. Rabbi Yosef Lazoimrim ain't darkol lachol el alech. Doesn't eat. She walks. Meaning it's normal for her to walk. It says when Rabbi said to the Kabbal didn't agree that it's not normal for her to walk. Ela mechazeres he no, that's the chiluk. What if she's tilting her head and putting her hand into the rishus inside? You have to pay not only when you're walking. Not only when you're walking, you pay only mashenenes. Not a full amount, but also when you tilt your head. That's what he says. It's not normal for her to tilt the head, but to walk. The question, what does it mean, beer is the beer is the beer is the could say dafka shusach and not shusarabim. Shusarabim and hearing the shusarabim. My soul beer is the acher, but shusamazik. Beer is the acher and now shusamazik. Meaning what? That a person put a fruit. So beer is the acher and now shusarabim, and here you're eating from now shusarabim. So you can't. The other one says no. Beer is the acher coming to a fruit cake versus the mazik. That a person put his fruits into chotzer ba'abais, so you're put. Shus apazik and pure b'shusi my boy. Obviously, no one could say what are you doing with the fruits, right? So okay. So what is the more trying to say? We're trying to say that we're talking about in general, even even according to this answer to the Gemara, we're asking: does an animal have to pay for shus rabim? Meaning. I'm not talking about Chazeres. We're talking about in Rishus Harabim itself. One man Dharma says, whatever you eat in Rishus Harabim, I'll go back to Tanoi. You pay only Mashineres the full amount. Rabbi Yisrael she doesn't eat at all. You're not supposed to eat in Rishus Harabim at all. Hi, it says beer is the acher. So Friedel Norma says beer is the acher, Rishus Harabim, you potter. And the Manomas Aldon said, but in Rishus Harabim you are chayav. Meaning they're arguing if Rishus Harabim you're potter now. We said as a double partial, you put Rishus Harabim, that's a machlekes. That's this answer. So the more, but what's the chiddush? Rishus Harabim, of course you're potter. There's no chiddush. What do you need to potter for that? Says the Gemara, Elo the Yilfa V'Rishai Kabinai. The Al machlekes Elo Rishai. You should go learn earlier. Yilfa said that an animal who took her neck. And she ate from the Agabe Chaverto, she's chayav. And Shaya says that an animal jumps, right? That's the chiluk between them. Rameir says that always you potter in the Rishus Harabim, even in the case that it jumps or it tilted his head in Rishus Harabim. And the other one Dharma holds, Razi says no. She's not normal for her to tilt her head onto her friend, not normal for her to jump. She just walks straight and eats as she walks straight. Anything else she does is not normal. Okay. So the Mishnah, Akelev v'agdi shekovtzu mirei shagag v'shovu sakel. You have a dog, you have a sheep who jumped from the roof and they broke the vessels below. It's normal for a dog and for a sheep to jump. Normal. The dog took a cake with coals and went to the Godish. He ate the cake and then he caused the Godish to be lit on fire with the coals of the cake. On the cake, he paid him because he ate it. It's regular shame. Why? The pashas it is tzroirus. The fire was done by the dog set the fire. To be tzroirus, and we'll see the Gemara doesn't explain what exactly the case is, but that's what we mentioned earlier in the Gemara for tzroirus. So the Gemara time with the kavtzu because the dog and the sheep because they jumped chayav on that. Hanoflu, but if they fell, patu. Hamakasov at chasav pshio seibon is patu. So this is a sugya on its own called chasav pshio seibon. When the owner puts the animal in a place that she may cause damage, it's called pshia. But then what happened was something unexpected happened. So do you say, listen, you were pshia, you did something wrong. I don't care how the animal caused damage. She could have caused it normally. Or you say at the end of the day it was caused with oinus. It's a machlekes. So here he puts the dog on the roof. The dog could jump. It didn't jump, it fell. She fell. That's not normal for it to fall. Close up shir, so he minus. Says the Gemara, Tainam Yachi. We are Rayo. They jumped from the top of the roof and broke Kalim downstairs. Sham Nezik Shalom. Not Chlup Turim. But if they fell, the pot. Says the Gemara, so what do you see over here? You see So that's the video. That makes sense. The potter they fell. But you hold your chayim in that case. Michael, I can explain this. So they won't call the mikari kalim the gabe koisel. Talk about the vessels are very close to the wall. When they jump far away from the wall. They fell. It's not chilos of shiva soyboinis. It's chilos of soyboinis. Because for the kalim they're next to the wall, there was never a tzad they're going to break it. When they jump far away. You put it in a place where these cannot damage. Cannot be damaged. There's cases where even if the dog fell as chayav. Talk about a wall which is ro'ua, which means it's about to fall. So you have to assume he's probably going to fall, even though maybe he felt normal afterwards. That's what it says. Mind you, that the bricks will fall. So at the end of the day, what happened? The wall did not fall, the dog did fall. So that's exactly. So what exactly did you resolve by saying that it's a wall which is about to fall? It says the moral is so Rashi explains that the fence around the wall, around the roof is very, very narrow, and they probably will jump on the fence, and they will fall. In other words, the tefillah is also normal. Not only other cases, jumping is normal, or for the wall to break. Falling is also normal because they don't have a lot of space to move there. They go in a very narrow place. They're probably going to fall. And the if they went the opposite, not from the roof to the top, the bottom, but they went from the bottom to the top. Pturim. Why the potter? Because it's not normal. When down, it's chayav. Odom and tarnagol, a odom and a chicken. It doesn't matter if they went upward or downward, you're chayav. By a chicken, because that's normal. By odom, doesn't matter. Odom mazik, you're chayav, even if it's not normal. Says the Gemara on Daf Chafes Amud Aleph, V'atani, it says in the Vayso, Hakelev v'agdi shedilgu b'memalo l'mato b'memato l'malo p'turim. It says over there that the potter somehow like Yusuf Chayov. In other words, you differentiate, and there you say don't differentiate. Says the Gemara, Papa explain, the Hatir maybe they change around their nature. Kalbo b'skiro v'gadyo b'sricho, meaning that they went. The dog jumped in a way that the sheep jumps. It's called skira, jumping. And the Gadyo went on the roof by putting his nails into the roof and climbing, which is usually what a dog does. They all did what the other one did. Says the Gemara, Yachi, why are you potter? It should be potter. It's a carrot. It's not normal. You have to be a little bit. So you're right. They did something irregular. You have to pay chatzin. But not the potter. It's something which is potter me nezik shalem. So it doesn't matter if they went up or down. If they did it in a strange way, they're not chayav in the full thing. They chayav only chatzin nezik, and that's how the Gemara concludes over here. Terry asks me, why don't you say tchilas b'shir sevi over here too? Because the dog could have climbed. Instead of climbing, it fell. It jumped. So why is the dog? Why do you see tchilas b'shir sevi? That's what it says. So Stoi says that regarding the idea of chatzin nezik, you're not chayav more. Even when you preshia gomer regarding nezik, you're not chayav more than chatzin nezik by carrying. That's what it is. Even though it can be b'shir, the cloud, the rule, even when the whole tchilas b'shir sevi boyin is chayav, that will not apply regarding carrying. So gomer will stop over here. Kol tuv.